Welcome to the Cosmic Unity Temple. We are starting with a little intention, and today's topic is the roots, the root chakra, and everything that connects to that. We're asking to be grounded within the light that holds us all together, everywhere in the whole universe, multiverse. You're asking for clarity, with information, for us to move, heal our roots, and become grounded in the place that we are in now. May we be in the now. If Dorotka wants to add anything to this, welcome.
Bringing in a harmonic communication so everything moves smoothly and let everything come through our heart space for the highest good of all of those who are connecting with us and watching this in a replay. Gratitude for this space, for us getting together, and for the knowledge that we are open to flow through us. Thank you. Here we are.
Yes, welcome.
Rooted in this podcast.
Yes, rooted in. Very exciting topic, very broad topic. And again, Dorotka and I, we bring different elements to this one element that is just so important, so important. Like
Important.
It's our base. It's our base to everything, to all of our existence.
Mm-hmm. The image of a little seed came to me when we were first talking about roots. And I thought to myself, how when we put that little seed into the soil, how important it is for that soil first to be nourished so that seed has something to grow into, right? And then what is the first thing that actually stems out of the seed? It's the root. As soon as the little root goes in and roots the seed, the seed is rooted, then the seed can grow the stem and go up and above the soil to open itself to the sun with the first leaf. And then that exchange of energy goes up and down, like in a spine, in human spine, right?
Yeah. Yes. So when we are not rooted, when we're not grounded, we're not really growing because we're stuck in some other place. And yeah, that's why it's so important when we become aware that we constantly keep on going back to some, let's say, other time. I mean, even if it's a good time, I've noticed that there's there's some of us that, like there was a moment in our life that was really nice and good and we liked it. And we always compare the now to that place. And again, it's like we're kind of, and it should be a positive thing, right? But for some reason, it just becomes a negative thing. It's like we're stuck in that place and we continue going there. And we're not really moving past it. So just noticing those things when we talk about them. But yeah, rooted it means being grounded and, on this spiritual journey, we always talk about the roots. And thinking about this topic today, I'm like, we've been talking about roots and even going to meditations. I love those meditations when they tell you just grow your roots, to put them into the earth and see that crystal. And I mean, I do those myself. And, how much do we really know what that means? Because that has a huge meaning, right? It connects, and Dorotka has other things, and jump in whenever you feel like. It's like, for me, it's all about our ancestry, our bloodlines, everything that has happened before us being here in the now. Past, present, future is all in the now, but we have those places that feel like were there before. And if we were hurt in those locations, timelines, if we had issues with family, anything that will really affect us in our life and our stability. So we're not really stable. We're not really rooted and grounded.
So
So
it's
it's very
how we
important.
feed, right? How
Yes.
how we feed
Mhm.
from the roots.
The
Our
feet, the
ancestors,
legs.
what was their experiences and their knowledge, and
Mhm.
how we bring this up as a nourishment. We can see it as a nourishment when we bring in that good knowledge, that positive feedback from the roots, and it allows us to expand. Or we can see it opposite way when it's negative experience and it's still affecting our life, right?
Yes.
So roots from
Mm.
the ancestors, from our closest ones, from the family members, from our parents, and then trickling down through the generations all the way.
Yeah. And then, when it comes to ancestors, I remember when I heard that for the first time, I was like, huh, what does that mean when, um, the Lakota chief that we used to know, one time we were at the gathering and our kids are running, having
Mm-hmm.
fun, and he's looking at them. He's like, they're our ancestors.
Oh.
And then, many times I would hear, we are our ancestors. And that's
Mm-hmm.
true. We've been in different places before, and that's where it goes back. So it's like, it's a broad subject and it's very multidimensional. We gotta see it like that. And it needs to have a lot of healing. And I think it's like one of the things that we should think about first, because this is the doors that would be closed, right? We want to get
Yeah.
healed and it's not working, not working. And sometimes with in sessions with clients, they will show the roots and they will show how they go and how they look like, and they go into the roots and then they show that those roots are rotten, or
Mm-hmm.
there's bugs in them. So spirit shows those roots and then how they are affected, and that obviously has all kinds of meanings, but very, very important part of our
Yeah.
spiritual path.
So even from the little part that you already mentioned, the roots can be memory keepers, right?
Hmm.
Because they keep the memory of our ancestors. Messengers, because they bring that message from the bottom of the root up for us. The pathways of communication, and they are, like you said, foundation for how we sprout in life and how we function in
Yeah,
life, right?
very true.
So I wanted to see what type of roots are out there, like trees, because
Mhm.
there's different type of plants, but I want to know about trees. I have a lot of cypress trees here. And where I was born, we had a lot of oaks, walnut trees, trees that are actually really like sturdy and they have deep roots. Where here in Cyprus, Cyprus has roots that are going like an skirt, open skirt,
Hmm.
and not too deep. So I wanted to know how many type of roots we have is just in one tree, and how they function, and how I can relate that natural state of the plant and a human, right? So there is a part of root that it's called oblique or heart root. From the base of the trunk, visible strong, branching into many secondary roots in search for water. So now if we take this and we move it into a human, these are the roots of the heart, our visible connections, the relationships, values we live out openly. They show where we draw emotional nourishment when our heart roots are strong. They generate more connections, deepening our capacity for love and belonging.
Hmm. Very nice.
And there's different type of roots, but just taking this one type of root that like I would say core of us, right? And then connect everything that it shows, the relationships. So from the smallest one, like you said, from the family, then going down to our ancestors and how that affects our lives, how we grow.
Yeah. And I recently learned, I guess maple trees, like cypress trees, their roots don't go very deep. They're kind of like on the
Mm-hmm.
surface. So like for those trees to be strong, it has to be a community of trees. They hold together, they hold the space,
Mm-hmm.
they hold each other, at the top and on the bottom, and
Mm-hmm.
then they are strung together. So if you have just one maple standing there, it
Mm-hmm.
it won't be doing very good. It might fall over. So sometimes when we have these storms and you see this massive tree that fell over, it's like, what? It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. But it's those trees that they didn't have that support. It's like that's another thing that's important. We humans have the heart, and like you said, these are these connections. Those
Mm-hmm.
have to be strong. It holds us all together. If you branch out and you become separated and you feel like you're alone and you just yeah you become alone, then your roots are not going to be strong because think of mycelium, think of the mushrooms. It's just like, I mean, this whole planet is about the
Mm-hmm.
roots. And when you are on Earth, and that's another thing, it's like when you are here on Earth, you have to be rooted because
Mm-hmm.
this planet is about the roots. We are a physical planet. We have a physical body, and that's very important. But sometimes when lifetimes and different places, different star systems, and issues there, those things might roll over. So you come here and you're like doing it all over again. And you're coming here because you have to learn what the root is and how important family is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so people with, let's say, inner family issues, not very supported, those again, that points to the root chakra. So being rooted is the root chakra, it's
I
like,
want to I want to go back to that maple tree you were talking
yeah,
about because when you were talking about the tree needs more than itself to sustain and to stay grounded, us humans by nature, we are creatures of community. And
mhm,
if we just on our own, we isolate ourselves, there's a very good chance for us to tip over, right? Whatever the life is bringing, if it's too heavy for us to hold, we will tip over, meaning down on our face, right?
yeah.
Horizontal position, done.
And
So,
that's true. And
family.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So we built like that web. When you think about roots and a web,
Mhm.
we build that web of community that are our support system.
Yeah.
That's the roots. So there's individual roots and then support system as the commute roots, right?
Yes. And like on Earth, okay, so we have the web of the like our Akashic records and stuff. These are
Mm-hmm.
the roots, right? Then we
You're
have
right.
ley lines. Again, you can see those as roots. Like there's just so much that goes energetically that comes
Mm-hmm.
together, and and we're a part of that. And we always
Mm-hmm.
will be. And this is like really learning what that means. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yep, yep, yep. So there you go. Web of roots. It's like the web in my dream catcher. There is so many connections, so many lines coming from the center of it, from the heart of it, to everyone around us, people that we meet, people that influence us just for a moment, and people who uh, influence us for our lifetimes, like our spouses, like our parents, like our siblings, right?
Yeah. And one more thing that just visualizing all of this as we talk about it, like, okay, we are a community, we are a relationship with everything that's all around us, with plants, with animals, with Mama Earth. But at the same time, we have to have strong roots on our own, right? So like healed relationships with those who are walking with us. So let's say if,
Mhm.
like you have your roots and then you have other people's roots, and if those roots are feeding on your roots, if you know what I mean, there's relationships like this. It's like we have to honor each other and honor each other's path and
Mhm.
not entangle our roots with other roots, or trying to have some benefits
In
of
a
somebody
healthy way.
else's. And yeah,
In
it's
a
got to be
healthy
a
way is
healthy,
fine.
right,
Yeah.
healthy root that doesn't affect other person's energy, doesn't block it, doesn't take away from it. It's just it's very important. And if that happens, obviously you have to do some inner work and see where those things
Hmm.
are happening.
Like these roots that you were talking about, maple tree roots, that's the root. That's the root that goes
Hmm.
horizontal and it connects to other people. And when we are connected with people who are healthy emotionally and they have their own stable roots, then we have this healthy connection, healthy relationship with these people. But if, like you said, their roots were compromised and they growing in this, they bringing this into their life, then our roots are gonna get affected too if we stay in that environment or in this relationship.
Right. It's kind of like that reminds me, I don't know if you ever heard that there was this metaphor or like the story about some tribal people building a bridge in the rainforest, and everybody had to make a string out of plants or whatever they were using, and
Mm-hmm.
all of these strings have to be put together and make a bridge. And if there was a link that was not very
Mm-hmm.
strong, like we all depend on that link. So
Mm-hmm.
so in those relationships, like there has to be integrity, and the person has to believe in themselves. I mean, there's just
Mm-hmm.
so much that goes into it to be a strong link, and
Mm-hmm.
be somebody that you can count on. You know what I mean? So it's a great analogy. I love that. Yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The other thing is how the roots are affecting what's above the ground, right? So, like when you take a plant and you put it in a soil that it's too moist, what's going to happen to the roots and then eventually to the plant, right?
it's gonna rot.
Yeah. So the environment where you are rooted affects how you grow or don't grow at all.
Yeah, so holding in emotions, holding in that water affects the roots. Yeah. Was really thinking about the root chakra because it really correlates with
Correlates,
the
yeah.
roots, with the roots, with the roots topic. And so I dove into some information on the root chakra
Hmm.
and organs that are affected because of that chakra. So one of them are, all of them are. It's a physical body support. So how our physical body is supported is the base of the spine, our legs. So like we're saying, how we're
Hmm.
standing, our legs, strong legs, bones, feet, rectum,
Hmm.
and the immune system. So like immune system is, the white blood cells and all of that stuff. And how do we feel protected? How are we, like that inner protection from within? And then that expands into the emotional body. So, like physical, family, and group safety and security. So, again, when we went through conflicts and that really affected us emotionally, then we're not going to be very stable and feeling good in that areas of life. Ability to make necessities, like do work, bring money in, and support
Hmm.
ourselves can also be affected if our roots are not healthy and strong. Then ability to stand up for self, which is interesting. It's like, we didn't experience the support and then the strength, and we don't have that within us, and then it's hard for us to to be that for ourselves. So again, very
Mm-hmm.
important. And then feeling at home. So just, if let's say your family threw you out or something happened, like you were not accepted because of your choices, then
Mm-hmm.
your base, your foundation got damaged, and you're not gonna be feeling like you're at home.
It's no
And
there is no spine without strong roots, right? You
mhm,
cannot grow the strong spine
mhm,
if your roots are weak. And whatever the roots are holding, that's what's gonna be reflected in the core.
it is, yeah. And that's literally physically. I A lot of times I had issues with like lower back because I was gonna say that
Mm-hmm.
like one of the
Mm-hmm.
illnesses, which I'll go over later, but one of them is chronic lower back pain. And I had a lot of issues with my back. And on the spiritual journey, I realized that whenever I had a thought, and I think I said this in some other podcasts, but like whenever I had a thought that I'm alone, I'm dealing with this alone, my back
Mm-hmm.
the next day was out, like literally. And it took
Mm-hmm.
me a few times to, realize this and see the pattern. And I started doing inner work, with like, oh my gosh, I am my best support. I can always count on myself. So that's where we start. Like if we in our environment have people that we see that are not very, you can't really count on them. They're swaying back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. It's like bring that in. You're supposed to count on yourself. If you need something, go and get it. Do it. Don't ask others to do it. Many times when somebody else does something for us, it's not the way we need, we want, or whatever. So just, doing it ourselves is counting on ourselves, and it's building back that support. So that's what I needed. And then I noticed how my life on the outside of me started shifting. Um, yeah, and like again, the emotionals with like social and familial, so family, law and order
Mm-hmm.
also are shaken up if the root chakra isn't good. So then going to the physical ailments, chronic lower back pains, sciatica, and sciatica has to do with the finances. So again, being able to support ourselves and bringing that in. Varicose veins when it comes to standing up for self and feet and legs and all that stuff. And then issues with rectal tumors and cancer of that area also connects to the root chakra. Depression, because when we are depressed, we are staying in the past, which means we're reliving those situations that harmed us, caused us pain. And then again, immune system. So anything related to the immune system and autoimmune stuff
Mm-hmm.
also plays a big role in that.
We don't have good roots. Nothing above the ground grows right. Either our spine is gonna be like the noodle that some gas stations have, that blow up noodle that goes like this.
Very true. And
Yes.
I I think it's an illusion if we think I don't need a family, or I can do it on my own. I think we live in times where those energies don't work anymore. And this is like when we come together, we all bring in a different gift. And
Mm-hmm.
there's no one superhero person that's gonna do it all. And you're, yeah, like you said, you're gonna collapse and tumble down. It's too much. It's like we have to be open unto others' support, and we need that support. And and honesty, universe is a place that always gives us support. So if we think we're not supported, that's not true. Well, you get air, right? You can breathe. And Mother Earth makes all this food. You have a ground to walk on. Like you have everything that you need. You just have to be willing to become a part of it and act out and bring your motivation and your action and make things happen. It's like nothing will happen without that intention, without that conversation with the universe. I wanted to tap into a little bit of autoimmune. I know a lot of people deal with an autoimmune situation. And recently, throughout sessions, but also people that I know, like, for information that has been going on for years and years in my life, in my practice. I've realized that a lot of people who have the connection with the siren beings,
Mm-hmm.
many of them, and myself included, I believe I would have ended up in that situation, are dealing with the autoimmune system because going back to those timelines, now, past, present, future, whatever, everything's right now, but thinking about that, there were a lot of wars and conflicts. And even when we think about conflicts within the country, like within the family systems,
Yeah.
one's like, I like this president. The other one is like, I like this president. Does really a family need to fight about who is the right? You know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a bond, and I would go that with one of my family member, and I was like, do we really have to fight over this? It's like, I think our little connection and our relationship is way more important than this. So like all these conflicts weaken those roots again. And I noticed that, people who've been reincarnated or have connections with the siren beings, there have been conflicts where the siren beings were attacking each other. They were using them as bait for the war. Um, Was it maybe for protection? Was it to get life spared? There's all kinds of different reasons, but yeah, that's this inner conflict when one is attacked by your own people, and then that happens. And we think, I just even recently talked with somebody and they said, oh, it's the genetical, my grandma had it, my whatever had it. And I'm like, okay, if you want to take a look at that like that, but it's like just, that there's an inner conflict with you when you're fighting with
Mm-hmm.
yourself about something. You're
So what
fighting
does it do?
yourself.
Let's stop for a moment.
Sure.
So if we have this in our um, family tree from our ancestors, if we have this in our DNA, that there was a conflict,
Mhm.
does that necessarily mean we're going to have autoimmune system? Or would there have to, or would we be in an environment that was creating a space for it to come out? So let's say if there was a conflict down the road, I don't know if there is family that never had conflict. I don't believe that.
Mm.
And then I'm living my life in the same way that my generations of my families were living in a conflict because I want everything to be the way I want them to be. I
Mhm.
have a plan and it's got to go like this. And there is no deviation. So I argue my way through life. I'm creating this environment in my life that
Mhm.
will allow this to come out. And if I'm not aware that this is slowly killing my physical body, then I will not only keep on doing it, but also this is going to transfer to the next generation.
Mhm.
So now, when we get to this point where we are so aware that conflicts are not good and don't create, that they destroy, then we can say, okay, I'm going to go to Sabina for some session and we're going to deal with this stuff. So
Mm.
we were on Cyrus B or A or C because we got apparently more than one. And we had argument within our families. And now we are ending up with this autoimmune
Mhm.
disease.
Mhm.
What
And
do we
and
do with this?
I think it's to just bring more meaning to it on that physical level.
Mm-hmm.
It's, let's say, your heart and your soul wants this,
Mm-hmm.
and that other part of you, it's almost like a dualistic kind of a way of living. That's what it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to. It's you being this is right, this is wrong. And there's an inner conflict. Like a part of you wants this, and the part of you is like, no, that will never happen. That's, that there's these two sides. And I remember when um, I went for my first Reiki attunement long time ago. And my
Hmm.
my Reiki master was like, Sabina, there's a war. You have a tag of war. These are her exact words.
The internal war.
Yes, that's what she said. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what does that mean? And then she goes, it's like, I'm gonna do it. No, I won't. I'm gonna do it. No, I won't. And that's why I believe I was a part of that
Hmm.
ailment. But when she told me this, it brought so much awareness to me at that time that I
Hmm.
was really, really paying attention to these things. And and I didn't want that. I'm like,
Hmm.
why would I be against myself? That's like the worst thing that can happen.
Hmm.
Like life brings you things and then you're taking them away from yourself. Um, but like, in sessions, it will show up as two wolves. I mean, it depends on the person. And sometimes it's not very severe. Let's say it can show up as two wolves, one black, one white, showing the dualistic way of living,
Hmm.
thinking, seeing. And, one is like really attacking the other one. That's a severe case of being, having an autoimmune in the future or something.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean it's now, but it's just like, there's these two, let's say, a child coming into this earth and being a child, and they got to go through this. They got to be a kid. They
Hmm.
got to learn how to do things. But that soul comes here and it's like, you know what? I don't want to be a kid. I hate being a kid. I was a kid and I was harmed and I was, God knows what bad, bad, bad things happened to me. And that soul does not want to be a child. Well, in order to be a healthy spiritual being, you have to have a healthy spiritual inner child. And obviously, in the situations, you don't. So it's like you have to experience that inner child. And this is how we come through here. You don't just get born an adult. There's this path and there's a reason for it. And if that soul is not agreeing with it and it chooses parents or situations where since the beginning, the child is not a child because it's always with adults. It's treated as an adult. I mean, oh my God, you wouldn't believe like how souls can manifest, but it shows that there's a part of you that you just don't want to deal with, you don't want to confront, you don't want to, and that's the autoimmune. It's
Hmm. So now, disclaimer, we are not doctors, not magicians, not
no.
witches, and not all, any of that.
Yeah, we're not magicians.
But
We just read the
how to
stories.
deal with that,
Yeah.
it's get to the root of it
Mm.
first, right? And then see if you can heal that internal war,
Conflict.
this
Yeah.
conflict.
Mm.
Like what I feel like this from my perspective. If I am living from my truth, I'm standing in my truth, then I have no argument, right? Because I already know what is.
Right.
But if I keep going back and forth from left side to right side and not getting into the center of myself and seeing the truth, then this argument is going to be on and continuing, and probably through very many aspects of your own life. So,
Yeah.
can you heal this? Yeah.
I would say so. And
I'm
it
not talking about
depends.
autoimmune,
Yeah.
the internal
The internal
arguments,
conflict.
the
Hmm.
conflict. You can heal that.
Yes.
What's going to happen to autoimmune? Just watch after you heal that internal argument.
Yeah. And, it can also show up in many ways. It can show up as an autoimmune. So it's like your body is showing you physically
Mm-hmm.
that it's attacking itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also show up mentally when, you have
Split personality.
that personalities talking, having conversations with that other part of you. I mean, you were just like so nourishing that other part of you so much that it almost became like a separate entity of you,
Mm-hmm.
aka maybe shadow. When you're not present here and not
Mm-hmm.
grounded here, and you go into a space where there's two of you and you are only one,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it's becoming more serious. And that's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you're just not here. You're talking, it feels like, and then so it also connects to the boundaries, because when you're rooted and you're in integrity and you're honest with yourself, you have boundaries. You have you know where that stops, when now is now. When you're not in the now and you're constantly going to that past, constantly, every day, then after a while, that past, it becomes the now. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no boundary of where the time, is. It's like it's all overlapping, and it can be so strongly that you can bring in the past visually with your eyes, and you will look through the window and you will see 1600s out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you are so, I mean, time is an illusion, timelines, all that stuff. Like, you connect so much to that past that the past is here. And there's different names for that, but that's not our
I keep
subject.
dragging the
Yeah.
old wagon that has no wheels. That's kind of tough.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
when you notice that, I can admit, when I was younger, it was so hard for me to face myself sometimes and face the things that I did. It was because I was so terrified of being criticized, or I was just terrified of being put in a bad category, that I would make things up, you know,
Mm.
kind of for myself, to make later on, like, analyzing this whole thing, I realized that we do this for ourselves, to feel better with ourselves, to kind of put a different image onto ourselves.
Where did it came from?
What do you mean?
Where this
It's like,
behavior?
like a story. You make up stories. Oh my gosh, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I can think of one right
Since
now.
we are talking about roots, where is this rooted?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that. It was a long time ago, but I'm just saying that I realized one day that the story that I was shifting and making up became so real that I no longer knew if it was a true story.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Interesting.
when I realized that, I was like, "Oh my God, our brains are pretty powerful. I better stop doing this, because that might take me to a very strange place." So I
Mm-hmm.
I stopped consciously. It wasn't it, I just stopped. So I didn't really need to go back to where that happened or what happened. It was a conscious decision. But I'm just saying, like, so it's lying, right? That would
Mm-hmm.
be called lying, not being honest with self, and,
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with stories to make one feel better.
Mm-hmm. So
Not that.
there's a weakness in a root somewhere where you don't feel like being you is okay.
Mhm.
Lack of support.
Exactly. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like with me, all the acne that I had on my face when I was young, I mean, it was awful. It was so
Mm-hmm.
bad I couldn't sleep on my face. It was bad. I couldn't wash my face. It was like, and that has to do with the identity. I did not accept who I was. I did not see myself as who I was. I didn't want to see myself. I mean, I was literally hiding behind my hair, in high
Mm-hmm.
school. Like, I was in hiding. So yeah, that's
Mm.
exactly right.
So roots are very important. If you would now summarize your roots
My roots?
in few words, the
You mean
subject that we
now?
discussed. Yes, right now, at this moment, when we were talking about roots.
Well, I
Why
I
roots are
always,
important?
yeah, I always think, um throughout my journey, that I realized that it's me, how I see myself, and how
Mm-hmm.
I do things for myself. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the relationship with me. When I have a good and strong relationship with me, I can count on myself. I know I'm being honest with myself. I'm listening to my heart. I'm, listening to others when they say something, but always come back to my heart. That's when the roots are strong. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when even if I slip somewhere, I'm still held by my roots and and it's safe. So it's me feeling safe. It's when I feel safe, I can go out there and I'm like, I'm gonna accomplish this and accomplish this and do things and it's easier because you have something to lean on.
Yes.
And then that fixes also relationships around you. So that also shows up. It's like the support ripples out. People will be like, "Oh yeah, you can do this," versus, "That's never gonna happen." I had to brush those roots.
So
Yeah.
you would say, because I'm listening to you and I realized a few things.
Mhm.
Um, when you have healthy family roots, it's a lot easier for your kids
Hmm.
because you give them the values, you value them, you value yourself, and obviously you had to learn how to do it.
Right.
And because you created strong roots for yourself, now you can forward this onto your kids. And
Mhm.
they know that they are valued for who they are, no matter what their choices in life. They
Mhm.
know that they have that support. They are not afraid to go out and create their life because they have those roots, that essence of the family values in them. And that makes them strong. They believe in themselves because you created that first for yourself and then you gave it to them by the way you lived your life. But for
Yeah.
those who didn't, they have to recreate this.
Mhm.
They have to heal those rotten roots and they have to grow, create that new environment for themselves, like sort of soil, nourish their roots so they can give forward. Yeah.
And I also think that it's like, even though I did it, and we do have children, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if this is the first link that is
Mm-hmm.
making the shift and is breaking the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel like the second link still has to do work. It's depending when that link came in. So
Mm-hmm.
depending which part of my life it came in, because I feel like we are still souls that came together in the same pool because we have to learn that same thing. So I feel like our kids are also making a lot of decisions and choices, and they don't have that DNA embedded in like that yet. I think they still need some work. But it's like we're
Transitioning
shifting.
generation, I
Yeah,
would
we
say.
started the shift. We started
Yeah.
this. And we talk with them about it. We're like, listen, our parents did this, and we're now doing this because we think it's better. But is that what you need? I
Mm.
don't know. Are you gonna take it as we think you will? We don't know, but we are learning to be that support, and we want you to know that. But do they really know that? Do they trust that yet?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not necessarily, but it starts with us. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a good observation. Yeah.
So the lesson from the roots is balance of directions. Just like the roots grow down, outwards, wide, in our life requires depth, connection, and a spread. That's when we are stable and when we are strong. Another lesson from the roots:
Nourishment.
adaptation.
Mm.
Roots change shape depending on soil, if they have nourishment, if they have water.
Mm.
And as humans, we do the same thing. We adapt depending on culture, on our environment, and on our challenges, right?
Yeah. And then if something doesn't work and you were trying to get that root in there and it's not working, well, you can always
Yeah.
make a new one.
Yeah, and even though I'm comparing us to the tree, there is a saying, you are not a tree, you can move, right? ironically.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's our thing.
and also regeneration.
Mm,
Like roots constantly renew themselves, um, and reminding us that we can let go of what no longer serves us. As we grow, we can create healthier pathway and healthier roots,
mhm.
and we can regenerate too.
Right.
So
And
from
then
generation to generation, as I had conversation with my mom, she's like, I'm and so years old, and I look at your generation and your sister, and you guys have all these issues. I said, Mom, how many vaccinations did you have? What kind of environment did you live in? What kind of food you were eating? What sort of water you were drinking? You know? And she's, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay,
we
okay,
all deal with
okay.
that stuff. And
So
we
we
all have
have to
opinions.
fight that environment that on one hand, we're coming out from this closed-minded place, and we're expanding, but at the same time what was expanding is that negative environmental influences that, basics like in food, in a way of living, how much stress we are putting on ourselves now to be better, to have more, to make more money because everything is more expensive. So there's
Mhm.
a lot of things that influence externally, influence us, and definitely the roots need to regenerate often, I would
Yeah.
say.
And sometimes when you're trying to grow roots and it just doesn't happen. You got to notice it's time to grow your roots in a different place,
Mm-hmm.
different environment, different, a place that's nourishing for you, the place that supports your growth and wants you to succeed and wants you to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
We choose.
Definitely. So since we are talking about roots, rooted in wisdom, rising in light. This is the theme for our next aromatherapy retreat that you and I are both joining, and we are both presenting.
Mhm.
And this retreat, rooted in wisdom, what does it mean to you?
I think knowing that we have wisdom and knowing that we can always tap into this and yeah, just know that we are wisdom, we are DNA, we
Mm,
are memory, we have it, just knowing that
yeah.
and
When I
being
when I
guided.
when I read this, I imagine like rooted in wisdom. So I see, how they say as below, so above, as above, so below. So
Mhm.
I see the roots, like the web of roots and our ancestors. And as you go up, there is rising in sun, like the same image with the new generations, and we are kind of like glowing into the sun with what we have gained from our ancestors. We kind of take this, we bring it into the light and grow with that and expand
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see that.
Yes, and being flexible like the tree
Mm-hmm.
and allowing change and flow.
In
Um,
wisdom, rising in light, we're going to post the link to aromatherapy retreat under this video. And for Sabina, this is going to be her first one. For me, it's going to be 10-year anniversary one. So it's very special for me. Each retreat is different, with different team, different things we talk about, and we take self-care very seriously. It's right now it's expanding through self-care, because I remember first retreats were just retreats. I don't even remember if they had names, but we had like not name but team. We were aromatherapy retreat people, and we were all certified aromatherapists. Now this space is open to everyone who wants to learn about oils, who wants to learn how to take care of themselves, and on a daily basis. There is so much out there, and sometimes it's just overwhelming to take care of yourself. You would have to probably spend 48 hours if you could fit it in 24, and it still wouldn't be enough. But those little things that we can do for ourselves on a daily basis, that's what we do. And aromatherapy retreats, and we build community that have women that support each other. There's always a lot of healing that is going on, a lot of fun, a lot of conversations, a lot of sharing. So I'm excited for this one because Sabina is coming and we're going to have lots of fun.
Yeah, see each other in
So,
person.
yay! Yeah, believe it or not,
Physically. Yeah.
the first time we've met I remember I commented on Facebook on your post, and for you there was like this shift and opening to spiritual realms, and I invited you for the interview about your book.
Hmm. Yeah,
That was my
and we
very
did
first
like,
interview I did ever.
yeah. Oh my God, that was fun. It was like,
Yeah, it
oh
was
my God,
fun.
there's, just discovering that there's somebody who thinks like I do or sees
Hmm.
things the way I do. It was just like it was activating on its own. It was really
Mm.
I
So you
remember
think, oh
sitting
my gosh, I'm not crazy,
you
or
know
there's a whole bunch of
yeah,
crazies.
I know. I remember sitting in your living room. Yeah, and we were just exchanging like things that, we saw, we
Uh-huh.
witnessed, blah blah blah. Oh my God, felt
Yeah.
so good.
It's fun when you first enter this realm of um
The unseen.
unseen realms. Yeah. It's fun. Learning about the energy, how it feels in your physical body. And with the essential oils, it's like, ooh.
Oh, whew, yeah. It's a whole other
Yeah.
medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine
So
of the plant people.
going back to have memories like this, to go back and recognize your journey. This is a good thing. I see this as a good thing. You don't get stuck in it. You just kind of take like, oh, this is the like a phone line, and you reach for that
Hmm.
joy that you had when you first time enter into this space of energy and healing
Hmm. And the
and other
possibility of
stuff
healing
and
even, right?
possibilities. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you never stepped onto that, you just don't know. You don't know that you can
Mm,
feel better. You don't know that you can smile more. You don't
mm-hmm,
know what good feels like. I mean, for me, I didn't know what good felt like. Life was not
mm,
good until tapping into essential oils. And then I was like, huh, I'm actually excited to get up in the morning and do something, like it
mm-hmm.
really very shifting.
Yes. So summarizing, so everybody know what we were talking about and why we were talking about roots and how it goes. If the tree has good roots, it has great trunk and beautiful crown. The roots that connect us to our Mother Earth, those that connect us to our closest ones, to our family, to our communities, and those that we weave out to
Into the
everyone
universe.
connection. Until the next time, stay rooted.
May your roots grow strong.
Yes, may your trunk be round and may your crown bloom. See you next
Bye.
time.